Hi Lynn, it's Chris again from Lexis Nexis. I wanted to give you a quick walkthrough to navigate between Lexis Advance, where you would be doing that traditional legal research, so your cases, codes, regulatory materials are all going to be found here, and then also Lexis Practice Advisor, which was that transactionally focused platform that I discussed over the phone with you. I'm going to get your trial ID set up so you'll have full access to both platforms. Feel free to run as many searches, download information, interactive forms and agreements. You can print, save those, whatever you want to do during the trial ID, and it's going to expire on Friday, May 20th. So if you're starting with traditional research, that's going to be done here on the Lexis Advance homepage. You can simply start running keyword searches in here, natural language searches, or you can do a traditional terms and connector search if you know exactly what you're looking for. For instance, if you wanted to do a natural language search for, say, like non-compete agreements, you're going to be able to start typing in non-compete. You'll see that the word wheel will pre-populate some legal phrases. If you run that search now, it's going to run it across to everything. If you choose to do that, you can then post search filter, or if you know specifically where you're going to go, you can jurisdictionally narrow this down by states, by the federal courts, also by the circuit courts, and then categorically, if you just want to see cases, statutes, whatever, you can stack these pre-search filters as many as you need. There's no limit to that. Also, practice area is one segment as well. I'm going to run a search across everything just so you can get an idea as to how to post search filter. This will give you results based off capturing whatever you typed into that red search box. If you just want to see cases, you can go here, and now you can narrow the results down a little bit. We have a timeline. If you want something a little more relevant, you can narrow the time window down a little bit. That's going to reduce the number of results. We're now down to 2,600. You get into a case, simply click into that. You're going to see this one does not have a lot of citation history. I'm going to go into one where you can see a slightly more robust Shepard's report. So this has a few more decisions which you can dive right into. Alternatively, to streamline research, we have something called the legal issue trail. You click on activate passages, and what it did was it actually boxed out everything that's a rule of law or legal issue within the case. So you're doing your research, you come in through the body, you come up with a section that is on point. By clicking into that hyperlinked box, it's going to give you a results page that's going to show cases that followed that case and cited that case just to that specific legal issue. So it really streamlines the research that you're doing. You can go back to the main page just by clicking on research, and it'll take you right back there. Your history will be in here. You can set alerts simply. Favorites are going to be those pre-search filters that you string together. You can save them. You've got 24/7 customer support, which is in Dayton, Ohio, and it's housed by research attorneys. There's also live chat if you want to forego the phone call and you just have a question on how to get to a document. Click on live support. It'll open up a chat window, and you can chat with one of our attorneys that way. What I wanted to showcase is Lexis Practice Advisor. So click on this drop down and go from research to Practice Advisor, and the default landing page is going to be your corporate counsel section. You'll work through this subtopically, contract boilerplate and clauses. If you want to expand that, you can see what we have here. Here's an example of intellectual property considerations. The international stuff is going to be down here towards the bottom under international considerations. You can expand that and go into any of these areas. For demonstration purposes, let me dive down into some intellectual property. I'll go into patents. What you're going to get is our interactive forms. You're also going to get practice notes written by the outside counsel firms, and you're also going to have access to secondary materials. Here happens to be a section of Milgram on trade secrets. If you want to see that treatise, you just click on the title. It's going to give you a page that will just take out chapters 2 through 9 of Milgram on trade secrets, and will take you right to a subsection that's on point with novelty. This is great. There's no additional charges to this. Access to these treatise sections are included in a Practice Advisor subscription. The other thing that you're getting in there are those interactive forms and agreements. For example, if I click on forms and I want to go into, say, let's go into a patent assignment form, or we could even go into, just go into one of these forms so you can see the functionality of it. This one here is a template that's actually coming out of Milgram on Trade Secrets. If we go back so you can see something that has a little more interactability, let's go into non-disclosure agreements here, so like a labor and employment standpoint. If you go into one of these confidentiality agreements, what you can do now is just plug and play the editable fields. So you're typing in dates of execution, party names, you even get drafting notes. So this is going to be coming out of the legal team that wrote it. There's also alternate clauses, so if the verbiage of this subsection is not completely on point for your purposes, you can adopt one of these clauses, or you can add your own clause because you probably have a pool of forms that you're using now. And you simply will copy and paste your text into our document, which will be seen here, and then you can kill the original, which is great. So the way Lexis Practice Advisor works is we sell this by the practice area. The default one being corporate counsel. That's the most popular subscribed practice area. If you do something a little more industry specific, you can change practice areas by going to this drop down. For instance, intellectual property and technology. When you change over to that practice area, everything in the subtopic is now related to IP, so it's going to be way more robust information in there. And we can certainly get you a competitive rate if it turns out that you need access to multiple modules. So when you pair Lexis Practice Advisor in conjunction with traditional legal research, you've got pretty comprehensive coverage as far as cases, forms, and practical guidance goes, and it should really reduce a lot of the outside counsel spending. Poke around on that trial ID and let me know if you have any questions.